What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hey, our kit from Northern Brewer seems a little bit light, which can only mean one thing. We're on the final step of my first brew in over 6 years. Welcome to bottling day. We've made it. Heck yeah. I have been so thin on patience, ready for this day. I am so excited to be here. So without any further ado, let's bottle some beer. Okay, so I did some stuff that I didn't do on camera face to face like this because I just didn't think it was necessary. We could wrap it up in some B-roll. This is our amber ale. This is our beer. I just brought it here to let it settle down from moving it to the room it's been in. I've sanitized. I actually started sanitizing our bottles, and I started with the bottle tree and then the bottles because I wanted them to be completely dry. I sanitized and have been drying out our bottle caps, and then I went to the other gear that I'm going to need. This is our bottling bucket, the spigot, the bottling wand, the gaskets, the nut, our cane rack, and our tubing, all sanitized. This is up here. We will have to move this down where it is farther below this, just like we did last week. And actually, before we get to any of that, I gotta move this stuff off my stove. I was a little too eager about the camera angle than I was being pragmatic. I totally forgot that we have sugar to dissolve, to prime, because the yeast that's in here, we need it to do its job one last time before it gets consumed, and it needs to do its yeasty thing and put off carbon dioxide in our bottles. So, give me a minute to slide some stuff around. We'll go from there. There's no way this is gonna work. That's why I didn't dump out our Star Sand in the sink. Maybe I ought to move this so that I don't have to re-sanitize that. That'll do. Let me re-sanitize this. I'll be right back. Okay. So, we have included in our kit this packet of corn sugar. We are following the directions today, so we'll slide on over here to bottling day. Equipment needed, I got all of that. Additional equipment if needed, sure. Getting ready about a half hour before starting process. Priming solution. Okay, so here's where we're at. Right there. In a small saucepan, check. Mix the entire pack of priming sugar in 16 ounces of water. Turn the stove to medium and heat the solution to a boil. Once the solution is boiling, set a timer for 10 minutes. Turn off the stove, place the lid on the pan, set aside for 10 more minutes to give the solution time to cool. When the timer goes off, pour the solution into the bottling bucket and then transfer the beer into the bottling bucket. So, we can do that. 16 ounces coming right up. Here is 16 ounces of water. And we'll use the little tiny stuff, little tiny burner. Go to medium. It's got this nice little tear it off thing. In we go, and I will grab a whisk. And I'm just going to keep an eye on that until it's boiling, set it aside for 10 minutes, and then we're off to the races, guys. Cool. We got a boil, so we're going to turn that off. Slide that back, and let it sit for 10 minutes. Set a timer for 10 minutes.
Got it. 10 minutes. And that's starting now.
Alright, so we got 2 minutes 44 seconds left before our sugar slurry is cooled down according to the instructions. Our beer is in this secondary fermenter. I don't know if you can see on camera, but I did drain out the sanitizer I put in the airlock when I was carrying it out of the room that this has been sitting in for the last week. It looked like it was sucking up a little bit too close to the top, and I was just being a little overly cautious since this is my first brew and the first videos on the channel. I'm really going for success, so I erred on the side of caution and I dumped this out before I carried it over here. So if you see that that's empty, don't worry, nothing tragic happened, allegedly. We need to bring a stool over, and with our bottling bucket, this is from the Northern Brewer kit that I started with. We'll set him there. Let me go re-sanitize my hands real quick. Alright, there we go. Gonna grab the spigot. And perhaps we should make sure. So if you look in there, that's how you can tell which one's which. And it should have been more obvious to me. So when you're facing it, on means on and off means off. So that's my bad, guys. I'm gonna put a gasket up top and a tight seal. Come in with another seal, and from the outside in, this guy goes on the back inside the fermenter, and I'm just being really careful not to touch the sides of the bucket with my elbow. There we go, there's our 10 minutes. Here's our little nut. We'll get that nice and hand tight. Okay. So we have our bottling bucket assembled. We're just going to follow the instructions. It's been 10 minutes. Here's our sugar slurry. It's still steaming, a little hotter than I'd care for, but we're going to follow the instructions. So we'll slide that in there. We're done with that for now. Here's our secondary fermenter. If in the event you are joining me for the first time today and haven't caught up on the rest of this series yet, I've pretty much followed the instructions from the kit from Northern Brewer, except I added a secondary fermenter because I wanted to. There you go. So let's go ahead and, ooh, that is a tight seal. There we go. It smells so good. So now we're going to grab our cane rack, sanitized hose. We'll go ahead and get this attached. Come on. It's like zero tolerance size, so you really gotta shimmy it on there. I think I'm okay with that, honestly. We got about 1 inch on. That's good. There's that. I'm gonna try not to disturb everything on the bottom too much, like I probably just did. Put that down there. We want to prime this until perfect, until we have enough gravity. It's just pumping on its own. We'll take a peek here to make sure nothing's leaking and that our spigot's not open like last time. Way to go, Daniel. It smells really good. really good. So we're just gonna let this kind of do its thing. Coming out real clear. There's a few floaties in here, but as long as they're floating, that means they won't get sucked into our bottles. So that's good. That's good. We're doing really well. I'm actually feeling real comfortable right now. I was a little bit nervous. This is a bigger day than I think a lot of people think. A lot of people are intimidated by Brew Day. But there's a lot of moving pieces in bottling day. And I was kind of concerned I forgot more. But I'm feeling pretty good. We're not done yet, but I feel better than I anticipated, if I'm honest with you. So we're almost done. Our line's here. I don't know if you can see on camera. So I'm just gonna keep my eyes on the rack. If it starts sucking up some schmutz, I'm gonna pull it up and we're gonna call that good. Okay. So this rack, I forgot where I bought it from. Well, I bought it from Amazon, but I forgot who makes this. I will put this in the comments below. This is better than any rack I ever had before because it sits higher than the schmutz. So, huge fan of that. Now, we're going to take this out and I'm going to be gentle. We don't want to add more aeration into our beer than necessary. My goodness, this smells good. Okay. So I'm going to lift this up. I'll set this aside. I'll clean it up later. Really, there's not a whole lot of junk down there. So that's good. Okay, let's let that dog in. She's whining. She wants to see you guys. Alright. So now, I'm just going to take the lid. I'm not going to seal it. I'm just going to place it on top to keep any airborne stuff out of the way. And we'll lift it up to the counter. And we will slide the stool out of the way. So the kit calls these kind of an all-in-one bucket. It's a fermenter, it's a bottling bucket, it's everything you want it to be. Today we're using it for what I believe is its true fashion. A bottling bucket. The kit comes with a bottling wand. It's got this little spring-loaded nipple at the bottom. And it came with a section of hose. So what we're going to do, this is all sanitized. We're going to sneak this on here, and it's once again really tight. The tolerance is about 0. So we want, come on. Like I said, the tolerance is 0. There we go. Okay, that's pretty tight. That's where I cut it off. The other end sticks on the barbs here. And this is tight too. Oh! We almost had a catastrophe. So, give me a minute to reset the camera angle. I'll be right with you. Okay, is this gonna work? Can you guys see me? We got our wand there. We got our bottle tree behind us. There's always tradition. We gotta sneak a taste. It's not carbonated, it's not completed yet, but see our bottling wand filling up. Check for leaks, everything looks okay. Yeah. We're gonna come up here. Can you guys see that? Yeah, okay. So So that lets some beer out. There we go. Cheers, guys. We're going to sneak a little taste. Yeah. For it being flat, that's pretty good. Wow, okay. That's pretty dang good, honestly. We'll set this aside. And here we go. So I'm just going to reach behind me here. We're going to start snaking off bottles. These are sanitized. The bottle tree worked very well. Sanitized it before I put the bottles on in the Star San in my sink. And here we go. We're going to sneak this up on there. Depress. I'm going to stop about an... Oh, it goes down. I forgot about that. Stop it about there. I just like to complete my first bottle in 6 years real quick. It won't be that tedious the rest of the time. So I'm going to put a sanitized cap on there. And then with a sanitized bottler that came in the kit, we'll come over here. And nice and gently. You guys ready? Here we go. First one in 6 years. An amber ale. Let's get the rest of these done. Well, being back at the saddle again felt really good. I don't have any tips or tricks to share, at least not yet. I chose to do 8 at a time simply for arbitrary reasons. I just go ahead and bottle 8 beers, set them on the counter, and then come back and place a sanitized cap on each, following up with the capper, and just gently seal them all up. Now, it is important to make sure to get a good seal, or the carbon dioxide that the yeast produces will escape and not carbonate the finished product. I just kept up with that process, and once I had a case bottled and sealed, I got them stored in the box because, let's be honest, counter space is pretty precious over here at Knollwood Brewery. And since I used the bottling bucket only as a bottling bucket, there's no schmutz on the bottom that I really have to worry about. So towards the end, I kind of tipped the bucket a bit towards me to get the beer up to the spout to get as much bottled as I could. I understand that voiceovers make everything look easier and quicker. Now, this is a relatively easy step when paired with caution and cleanliness, but all in, this step took about half an hour. Now let's get back to real time. Wow! Guys, there you have it. The first bottling day in over 6 years for old Danny Boy over here. I had a lot of fun doing that. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today and coming along with me on my journey getting back into the craft. My little sample was super good, even though it was room temperature and flat and had a little extra sugar in it because the yeast hasn't eaten it yet. I was pretty impressed, so I think I'm headed in the right direction. Pretty pleased with that. I'm going to put these cases back into my brew closet. What did we get to? We are short 5, so we got 43. Not too bad. A little bit of waste from the adding to the secondary fermenter from the kit, so nothing negative towards the kit on the reason I'm coming up shy. I got a huge mess to clean up behind me. Well, it's not huge, but we'll get it taken care of. I want to thank you again for hanging out with me, and I will see you on the next video. And until then, be well. See you guys.